Woman shot with bow and arrow in Northwest District. Hydronie. In a shocking incident, a 42-year-old woman named Edith Guyana was shot with a bow and arrow early Saturday morning at 5-Star Back Dam, Northwest District, NWD, Region 1. The attack occurred around 5 o'clock HRS. According to reports, the arrow entered Guyana's body under her left arm, close to the rib cage, narrowly missing vital organs. A photo sent to Hydronie shows the arrow lodged in her body, highlighting the severity of her injuries. Emergency responders promptly transported Guyana to the Baramata Health Center, where she was stabilized before being scheduled for airlifting to the city for further medical attention. Details surrounding the circumstances of the shooting remain unclear, and authorities are actively investigating the incident. The community is left in shock as they await more information about this unusual and distressing event. Gunman rob money changer at America Street. Hydronie. In a brazen daylight robbery, 2 masked men on a motorcycle targeted a money changer at gunpoint on Friday evening along the Avenue of the Republic and America Street, Georgetown. The victim, a vendor and money changer, was left shaken after the ordeal, which resulted in the loss of $440,000 in Guyanese currency, $200, and a gold chain valued at $300,000. The attack occurred around 18:20 HRS while the victim was packing clothing into his minibus. According to police reports, one of the suspects approached him, brandishing a handgun and demanding that he remain still. The bandit then reached into the victim's pocket, stealing the cash before grabbing the gold chain. After the theft, the suspect fled to join his accomplice, who had been waiting on a motorcycle parked on the eastern side of Avenue of the Republic. The duo then sped off south along Avenue of the Republic towards Hadfield Street. Police have since interviewed several individuals who may have witnessed the crime, hoping to gather more information to identify the suspects. Investigations are ongoing as law enforcement seeks to bring the perpetrators to justice. The community remains on high alert following this troubling incident. MOH to meet with Golden Grove residents regarding tomb relocation. The Ministry of Health, MOH, is set to hold another meeting with residents of Golden Grove to address growing concerns over the relocation of tombs from the community's burial ground. Dr. Barrett Jagdeo, General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, PPP, acknowledged the residents' concerns following a news report. He stated, "I told the NDC chairman and the Minister of Health to arrange to meet with the people there," during a recent press conference. Earlier in January, the MOH announced plans to remove 15 tombs from the burial ground to facilitate the construction of pumps aimed at improving drainage in the Diamond/Grove area. These tombs are located in the southwestern section of the cemetery. On January 30th, the ministry issued a notice regarding the relocation and scheduled a site visit for interested parties on January 31st. However, residents expressed that this notice provided insufficient time for them to prepare or respond. Dr. Jagdeo emphasized the importance of proper consultation with residents, stating, "We have to discuss this with them. We can't go in a heavy-handed manner and just dig up things." The upcoming meeting aims to address these concerns and ensure that residents are adequately informed and involved in the process. Young single mother appeals for assistance amidst difficult living conditions. Afina Howard, a 22-year-old single mother of 2 young children, is reaching out for help as she faces overwhelming challenges in her living situation. Currently residing with her mother, who has 8 other children, Howard and her kids are forced to sleep in the kitchen of a cramped 1-bedroom house. Howard is in the process of building her own home, but the construction remains unfinished, leaving her in a precarious situation. "When it rains, water comes into the kitchen, making it difficult to live here," she explained. In addition to the physical challenges, Howard has expressed that her situation has been emotionally taxing. She has faced threats and violence from others, prompting her to seek refuge with her mother for safety. Howard is urgently seeking assistance to complete her home, which requires a roof, windows, and doors. "I am a young mother asking for help. I just want my kids to be comfortable," she said, her voice filled with emotion. With an 8-month-old baby and a 2-year-old, Howard finds it increasingly difficult to work and provide for her family. In her heartfelt appeal, she has reached out to community leaders and organizations, specifically addressing Mr. Muhammad, hoping for support and understanding. "Please don't turn me down. I really need the help," she pleaded. Howard's contact number is 592-744-2185 for anyone willing to assist her in her time of need. Tragic fire claims lives of couple in Hydronie. Investigators are currently probing the cause of a devastating fire that occurred at approximately 1:45 HRS today at Lot 1A Hydronie, East Bank, Essequibo. The tragic incident claimed the lives of Hydronie Bahuder, a 52-year-old teacher, and Hung Suraj Nareen, a 57-year-old bus driver. A police team from Regional Division No. 3 arrived at the scene around 2 o'clock hours. The flat concrete structure, situated in a fenced yard and facing north, was completely destroyed by the flames. Emergency responders acted quickly after receiving a 911 call from an unknown caller reporting the fire. Upon arrival, officers witnessed the building engulfed in flames, prompting them to summon a fire tender for assistance. Sub-Officer Fraser and 4 additional ranks from the Leonora Fire Station responded with fire tenders number 84 and number 81. Upon arrival, they immediately began to extinguish the fire. However, the entire house had already been gutted by the time they could intervene. The bodies of the deceased were located in the northern area of the home, alongside a dog that also perished in the blaze. Following the fire, undertakers were summoned to the scene, and the bodies were subsequently transported to the Ezekiel Funeral Home. Investigations into the cause of the fire are ongoing. Authorities are working diligently to uncover the circumstances surrounding this tragic event. 102 Venezuelans to be deported for illegally entering Guyana. Hydronie News. In a significant enforcement action, 102 Venezuelans have been detained over the past 3 days for illegally entering Guyana via large metal boats. The group was intercepted in Region 3, as authorities ramped up efforts to manage unauthorized crossings. According to Mahendra Nareen, commander in charge of police operations in the district, the detained migrants are currently being processed and will soon face deportation. "We are ensuring that the proper procedures are followed," Nareen stated. Reports indicate that the Venezuelans entered Guyana's waters in multiple batches over the weekend. Cell phone videos obtained by Hydronie News show the moments when police turned the migrants away. In one clip, as the boat reached the Supinam Stelling, officers from the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Defense Force, GDF, Coast Guard were seen intercepting the vessel and preventing further entry. As the migrants were escorted from the boats, one individual remarked, "These people are angry here. They are sending us back," highlighting the tension of the situation. After being turned away from Supinam, the group attempted to re-enter through Virginogan, East Bank, Essequibo, but were detained by authorities there as well. The Venezuelan migrants are reportedly fleeing the ongoing economic crisis in their home country, seeking better opportunities in neighboring nations. However, their attempts to enter Guyana illegally have led to heightened security measures and swift actions by law enforcement. Investigations are ongoing as authorities continue to monitor and manage migration in the region. Businessman granted $300,000 bail pending appeal after assault conviction. Guyana Times. Jairam Besessar, the 37-year-old operator of Jagdesh Duck Curry Restaurant and Bar, has been granted bail in the sum of $300,000 as he awaits the hearing and determination of his appeal. The decision was made by the High Court of the Supreme Court of Judicature of Guyana on Friday following an urgent application filed on his behalf. Besessar was convicted and sentenced in absentia to 1 month of imprisonment for assaulting Police Corporal Hakeem Atkins on January 2. The incident occurred at Lima Housing Scheme, Essequibo Coast, where Atkins was reportedly performing his duties when the altercation took place. The case was heard on January 21 at the Suddy Magistrates Court before Magistrate Tamika Clark. As Besessar was absent, an ex parte trial was conducted, leading to his conviction for assaulting a peace officer and subsequent 1-month imprisonment sentence. In response to the conviction, Besessar's legal team, led by attorneys Bernard da Silva and Abiola Lowe, quickly moved to secure his release by filing a fixed-date application, urgent with notice on January 31, 2025. Supporting affidavits were provided by Mullah Besessar and Ramesh Chattergoon during the court proceedings. The matter was heard before Justices D. Young and Z. Ali Paul at the Supreme Court, where arguments were presented from both sides. After reviewing the submissions, the court granted bail with strict conditions. Besessar is required to surrender his passport and all travel documents to the Assistant Registrar of the Supreme Court, Sub-Registry, Essequibo, to prevent him from leaving the jurisdiction while his appeal is pending. The court warned that failure to comply with these conditions could result in contempt of court proceedings, which may lead to additional imprisonment or confiscation of assets. With his bail secured, Besessar's legal team is expected to proceed with the appeal process, which will determine whether his conviction will stand or be overturned in the coming weeks. SWAT officers granted $200,000 bail in narcotic possession case. Guyana Times. Two police officers from the Special Weapons and Tactics (SWAT) unit were granted bail on Friday after appearing before Chief Magistrate A.G. Faith McGusty at the Georgetown Magistrates Court. The officers, Lance Corporals Kevin Thompson and Dwayne Perry, faced allegations of possessing 748.4 grams of suspected cannabis. The arrests occurred on January 14, 2025, when police intercepted a Toyota Axio at the intersection of Camp and New Market Streets, Georgetown. During the search, law enforcement discovered a black traveling bag containing leaves, seeds, and stems believed to be cannabis, as well as plastic wraps, a digital scale, and a bag sealer. The vehicle belonged to Diana Persaud of North Road, Lacey Town, and had been rented from Elite Auto Rentals by Stacy Hodge, a 40-year-old businesswoman and Thompson's reputed wife. Hodge informed investigators that she last used the car on January 10 before handing the keys to Thompson, who requested it for personal use. Following their arrest, both officers were placed under close arrest as investigations continued. However, defense attorneys argued in court that the substance had not been officially tested to confirm its identity as cannabis, raising doubts about the charges. Thompson's attorney, Dexter Todd, emphasized his client's 15 years of service in the police force and his ongoing employment, despite being under close arrest. He questioned the absence of a definitive proof regarding the substance and suggested that Thompson might be a target of a senior officer's personal vendetta. Perry's attorney, Dominic Bess, also sought bail, asserting that his client was merely a passenger in the vehicle and had no connection to the black bag found in the back seat. Bess mentioned surveillance footage that could confirm Perry's lack of involvement with the bag. The prosecution maintained that the substance was known to the defendants and that a request for testing had been made. However, Magistrate McGusty expressed concerns about the lack of evidence and questioned why no tests had been conducted despite the suspects being in custody. The prosecution requested 3 weeks to address the issue. In light of the incomplete prosecution file and uncertainty surrounding the alleged narcotics, the magistrate granted bail at $200,000 each. The next hearing is scheduled for February 28, 2025.